Uy, naka-record na. Sakit na daw ulo niya kasi. This is another retake. Okay. This is another retake of our episode number 776. Hindi, joke lang. So, welcome to another episode of Barbell Geek. Ano yun? Okay, so anyway, ano ang episode natin ngayon?
May student nga na nag-message asking about vertical jump, increasing yung vertical jump.
Yes. So, shout out sa'yo, Mr. Justin. Okay, so, i-show ko, i-link ko, or whatever. Pero shout out sa'yo sa aking student na si Mr. Justin Olivar. Okay, so, this question, well, guys, hindi naman ako snob na teacher. Sinagot ko naman siya agad-agad. Pero I was inspired to create an episode kasi baka may ibang may gusto makarinig and baka mas detailed namin ma-discuss pa. Okay? So anyway, let's start. Discuss mo na. Go na. Pinasa na lang yun at tinamad mag-discuss.
Gusto mo tumaas talon mo, tumalon ka.
Okay. So siguro, pero good premise yan. Gusto mo tumaas talon mo, tumalon ka. Kasi kung di ka marunong tumalon, hindi ka makakatalon. Pero there are a lot of factors that would affect dyan. And just the usual, let's have our story time. Ikaw, hindi ka naman sporty. Pero have you had any experiences sa vertical jump?
Hindi ako sporty pero sumasaya ako sports fest ng volleyball. Yes.
Filingera in the house.
Ayun na nga, before, nung sumasali nga ng sports fest, hindi ka makatalon pagka may drills na magsa-spike. Hindi ako makatalon, tapos lagi napupunta sa net yung bola kasi nga, galata ng Rino.
Ganun na. Baka naman iniisip nyo kasi, lata ng pinakamalalaking corned beef. Hindi.
Galata, lata ng tuna, yung flat. Ganun lang. Tapos, nung nag-start akong mag-strength training, parang dumating sa point na sinabihan mo ako na, try mo nga tumalon. Tapos, nag-jump lang ako ng vertical jump, naabot ko yung kisame.
Pag sinabi vertical, walang
buwelo. So, naabot ko yung kisame, tapos hindi lang siya parang natapik lang gano'n. As in, nahawakan ko talaga yung kisame.
So, hindi po namin mineasure yung kisame kasi this is not an official test. Okay. However, bago siya mag-training, ganito kalayo
hindi yung kisame.
Hindi, as in, sobrang suntok sa buwan na maabot. Kahit kumawag-kawag pa siya, hindi aabot yung daliri dun sa kisame. Pero after the strength training, dumikit.
Dumikit nga. As in, gano'n siya.
Ayun. Hindi lang pala, na gano'n pa. Ganun daw talaga. For those who are listening sa podcast namin, again, ang sinasabi niya, medyo hindi lang touch yung, hindi lang the place, talagang
nahawakan ko.
She could, talagang abutin.
Nahimas ko yung
kisame. Madulas ba? Magaspang ba?
Malikabok.
Okay. So anyway, I also have, puro na ako anyway, pero I also have an experience dito. Kasi nabanggit ko naman sa previous episode na favorite t-shirt, hindi kami nagpalit. Hindi, joke
back to back namin siya kasi may time dahil walang internet.
Yes. So nasingit na. Ang gulo talaga natin pag nag-uusap, no? Anyway ulit, alam niyo guys, malalas pag yung word na anyway sa amin. So sobrang gulo namin mag-usap.
Anyway!
Okay. So, before, nabanggit ko na mahilig ako mag-training for basketball, etc. Kaya nag-jump training din ako. Nag-try ako magpataas, tumalon. Dati, abot ko lang talaga yung ring. Kasi,
tap lang?
Hindi. Parang masasabi mo quick jumper. Yung mabilis tumalon, tapos paulit-ulit nakakatalon. Hindi ako masyado napapagod. Parang ganun eh. Kahit hindi ko kailangan bumelo, tapos isang mataas na talon. Lagi nakakatalon, consistent mataas naman. Ang dati, ganito ko siya hawak yung ring. Okay, so nag-grab ko talaga yung ring. Minsan ganito pa, talagang full grab.
Kaso biten, hindi napapasok yung
bola. Biten. Never ko talaga na i-dunk yung bola. Tapos, nung nung medyo matanda na ako, when the opportunity came to be a little more or parang competitive in terms of basketball, talaga nag-training ako for jump. And talagang na-dunk ko nga yung bola. I don't have videos, pero I mean, people who I know, friends, ganyan, alam nila na nagagawa ko. During warm-ups, ganyan, na nagagawa. Talagang tumaas yung talon ko to the point na kaya ko talaga i-stuff yung bola. And to some extent, pagka right timing, kahit may maliit na bantay, halos nagawa, natatakot lang kasi minsan natatakot din sila pagka umiibabaw ka. So, those were the days, decades ago.
Decades ago.
When dragons were still, grabe ka tanda yun. Hindi, pero noon pa yon. Ngayon wala na akong jump training, so hindi ko alam kung anong status ng aking vertical jump.
Hindi matry kasi yung ring dito sa court may barbed wire.
So unless gusto kong mapunit yung kamay ko. Anyway na naman, kasi ang gulo talaga namin. So, what increased yung vertical jump ko was several different training techniques. Pero start tayo sa kwento niya. Nag-train ka ba for vertical jump?
Hindi, nag-train ako pang palaking puwet.
So, strength training lang talaga kami. Strength training plus hypertrophy training. Yun lang ang ginawa namin. And I was able to predict na talagang tataas ang talon niya. Why?
Kasi bumibigat na yung buhat ko.
Okay. And anong effect nun? Pag bumibigat kasi nga yung buhat, ibig sabihin, tumataas din yung force production ng muscles. Again, we're taking away yung aspect na okay na yung form niya. Kasi na-correct na namin yung form, so we're now trying to increase force production. So, kung tumataas yung force production mo, tataas ba talon mo?
Hindi, kasi yung power.
Wait lang. Move ka agad ng Sa force pa lang tayo. Tataas ba talon mo kung malakas kang magbigay ng force?
Oo. Hindi ba?
Oo. Tama yung sagot mo. Kasi bakit? Vertical jump is countering the downward forces using upward forces that will come from force production ng katawan. And force production ng katawan usually comes from your muscles. Kaya nga, if you have a high muscular strength, that means you have higher force production. It also means you will exert more forces upwards when you're jumping. Kaya nga, na-predict ko na yung strength training mo, tataas talon mo talaga. Kasi bakit? Tumataas yung force production mo. Pataas. However, it is important to note na the downward forces, syempre gravity, as well as your weight, could be a factor. Kaya ngayon sa kanya, because we're trying to be as lean as possible, ayaw namin siyang bumigat sobra. Kaya nga puro yung force niya tumataas pero hindi siya masyado bumibigat. Kaya nga that's what we call relative strength. Ibig sabihin lumalakas yung strength niya in relation to dun sa weight niya. Kasi remember, if you're heavier or you're getting heavier, dumadami yung forces pababa. So let's say ito yung una, tapos bumigat ka, so magiging 2 point down. Yan. Tapos ito pa rin yung force mo up. Mahirapan ka kasi 2 na yung kumukontra pababa. Diba? Kaya nga, you have to get stronger than you are getting heavier. Ganun lang ibig sabihin yun. Is it to say na pagka mabigat ka, hindi ka makakadunk? Again, I've seen videos in YouTube where there are heavy people who are dunking. Like sila Mark Henry ata yun. He was able to dunk the ball. He is, I think, yung before, he is ata pa rin. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Pero, nag-set siya ng records before sa powerlifting. Kasi he has a big squat, a big deadlift, and a big bench. He's 6'2", I think yung height. So, sige, i-search na lang natin. So, pero roughly, medyo matangkad naman siya. Pero mabigat talaga siya. Mabigat talaga siya, guys. He weighs around 360 pounds. And yun nga, I've searched it already. He is...
wrestler siya sa WWE.
Oo, naging after the powerlifting stint. So, He was heavy, 300 something pounds, 6'4" ang height, pero he was able to dunk the ball even heavy. Bakit? Kasi sobrang high yung force production niya, kahit sobrang bigat niya. Kaya nga, for those who are trying to gain strength, to be able to increase their vertical jump, if you gain weight, you have to gain stronger ng mas malaki to propel yan, or else mahirapan din kayo. Kaya nga, kailangan relative strength siya. Okay? So, strength is really beneficial for vertical jump. Makikita din kasi natin yan in a study on elite soccer players. Sinabi dun sa elite soccer players na increasing the maximal strength did increase their vertical jumps. Diba? Kaya nga, again, back to our example, the highest jumper here, diba? She increased her strength and increased her vertical jump. Okay? So, vertical jump. Pero yun nga, yung question ko, so if we continue increasing yung strength mo, will we continue increasing yung vertical jump mo?
Hindi, parang magkakaroon ng time na dahil mag-adapt.
Babagal. Diba? Babagal siya. I'm not saying na hindi, kasi studies have shown nga na increasing the maximal strength will also increase your vertical jump. However, there will be a time na mas mabagal na ang increases. And it's because of the power training din kasi. So, if we look at yung science, power is work over time or force over time. You need to increase the speed at which you exert the force in order to be successful in vertical jump. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis. Mas mabilis mong ma-exert yung force, mas mataas mong maitatalon. Diba? Kaya nga sometimes, kahit na hindi sobrang bigat ng squat ng isang tao, diba? Kung kahit hindi ganun kabigat ang squat ng isang tao, mataas siya tumalon. Kasi at the weight na kaya niya i-squat, mabilis niya naman ma-exert yung force. Kaya nga, we also have your power training, which could be achieved by jump training. You could do it with yung Olympic weightlifting because it's a high power sport. Diba? You could increase your jump by doing so kasi you're trying to increase yung force. It might not be the maximal force na kaya mo, pero sub-maximally, ang bilis. Ganun, di ba? Kasi siguro, analogy na lang natin, hindi ka naman slow-mo tumalon eh.
Kaya
Slow-mo siguro ka magbuhat ng sobrang bigat na bagay kasi you're trying to control it. Pero, when you're trying to jump, mabilis kang umi-exert.
Lalo na kung nasanay ka din kasi na nagbubuhat ng times 2, times 3 ng body weight mo. Ang gaan mo na.
Diba? Ang gaan na, 'di ba? Kaya nga in a way medyo submaximal, but I'm not saying only submaximal loads will generate yung enough power kasi there are people who are able to generate this type of power in a higher na percentage of the max. There are some na ganun. Again, all boils down to different aspects which we will discuss later. Okay. Next one, 'di ba? So we know that jump training and power training is also essential. Pero why do we say na strength increases maximal ano? Diba? Kasi, 'di ba? Let's not look at jumping as jumping alone. There's also a phase where we land. Hindi naman pagtalon mo, ibon ka na, lilipad ka na. ano yun parang rocket ship, di ba? Pag buwelo mo, diretso ka na sa ano. Oo. Pumunta ka na sa moon, lumampas ka na, di ba? Hindi ganun. There will come a time na you have to land. And studies have shown na when we land, increasing forces of certain muscles, diba, could help you avoid injuries sa landing. Sa tingin mo bakit? Hindi naman reduce injuries kasi again guys, I will correct myself. When we say injuries, madaming factors, diba? Baka napatid ka, uneven surface, sirang sapatos. Okay, so maybe we will reduce forces on the joints. Parang ganun, or impact forces, unnecessary forces, sideward movements ng knees, etc. Bakit sa tingin mo?
Na-injure?
Hindi, na pagka you increase the strength, it helps with yung landing.
Kasi alam mo din kung paano parang i-brace yung sarili mo pabagsak.
Oo,
Kasi
kasi
sabi, may term ako sinabi kanina, nakalimutan ko na. Yung sa impact, yung pagbagsak.
i-bend mo.
Alam mong saluhin yung sarili mo pababa.
Kasi, remember, pagka tumalon ka to straight leg yung landing mo,
Balito mo.
hindi naman bali. grabing talon yun. Ano, 1,000 pounds tapos tumalon ka 10
Hindi,
feet.
pero nginigan tuhod mo nun.
Hindi.
Diba?
Yun nga, nginig yung tuhod mo, kaya nga masasaktan yung tuhod. Pati yung sa
Likod mo,
spine mo, di ba,
kaya nga.
mafe-feel mo talaga yung
Compress ng
o
spine.
yung yanig,
Oo.
di ba? Kaya nga, what you usually do when you land is you bend your legs. And, although we know that increasing muscles for knee flexion will increase jumping. Ibig sabihin, yung muscles ng pagtupi ng tuhod, other muscles will also contribute to landing. Kaya nga hindi natin pwede sabihin na isa lang yung exercise ko, ito lang. Yun lang yung exercise ko. It's better to really address all muscles that contribute from jumping to landing.
Para matuto ka to brace yourself for
di ba?
landing.
So, aside from muscles that contribute to the upward movements, diba, madaming muscles yan, hindi lang naman sa quads yan, etc. There are also muscles responsible for landing. Kaya nga, you have to improve those muscles in terms of strength training. Diba? Ngayon, let's go into detail a little bit. How do we train for strength? Diba? Siguro yun yung tanong eh. So, alam na natin, Barbell Geek, we want to train for strength. And then we will train for power. Diba? Once we have enough strength, we could support our landings. We could train for jumping exercises or power exercises or whatever. Ang tanong ngayon, how do you train for strength?
Kung estudyante ka ni sir, dapat alam mo yan.
Exactly. So this is a quiz. So write your answers down in the comments below.
Diniscuss yan.
Hindi, joke lang. Pero tama yan. Kasi usually, if you look at strength and conditioning books, etc., you have tables where there are recommendations na para around 15, 20s, etc. Those are for muscular endurance. Ibig sabihin, para mas hindi pagurin ang muscle. You also have your 8 to 12, which would be your muscle hypertrophy. Ano ibig sabihin nun?
Yung pampalaki ng muscles.
You also have your 5 na range, which is for muscular strength. And then, the lower rep range would be for power. Ibig sabihin, lower reps reps ang pinag-uusapan dito. Okay? So, the lower rep range, 1 to 3 would be for power. Ngayon, di ba, ang tanong ko sa aking kasama dito, if I train for hypertrophy, hindi ba ako magiging strong?
Magiging strong, kaso mas mabagal.
Exactly.
Alis
diba?
ka na, ako na dito.
kasi guys, when you train for an aspect, it doesn't mean you're not getting stronger dahil lang hypertrophy yan. Mabagal lang at saka may limit lang. We could say, hindi naman may limit, pero mas mabagal lang siya. Let's say, if you train for strength, you will get stronger faster and gain size a little bit slower. If you train for size, you will also gain strength, but a little bit slower and gain size faster. Ganun lang yun. Kaya nga, again, siguro disclaimer, for you guys who will try to train for strength, if you don't have a coach, you haven't nailed the form yet, if you are still young, okay, at baka ma-injure ka, if you're old then, if you have injuries, diba, maybe you could start lifting with a higher rep range first until your body gets accustomed to it, maybe fix your form, etc. Kasi nga, ito, sabi ko nga hindi naman 5 reps, tas 1 pound lang bubuhatin mo.
Sabi ko nga rin, kanina kung pwede lang, hindi yun ang ginawa ko.
Diba? Hindi ganun yun, kasi it still has to be challenging. And the reason you can only lift 5 reps, because it's heavier. Parang, you could lift a weight for 8 reps, pero you could not lift that for 10 reps. Kailangan gumaan ng onte. Diba? Kaya nga ganun din. lifting for 5 reps would be a little bit heavier compared to the weight you're lifting at 8 reps. Pero still, it should be a weight that is challenging. Kaya nga, again, be guided accordingly. We don't want any injuries out there. Diba? Once you have the strength nailed down, diba, then you move on to your plyometric, jump training, okay, and power training, diba? You could do other stuff kasi you're now safe for landing. You have enough force to support the power equation, which is force over time, diba? So, pwede na. Then, it would translate to your vertical jump. So what other factors ba? Siguro, since tapos na tayo, yan yung training, are there any other factors that would affect your vertical jump? Aside from the discussed strength, power.
Yung channel mo to, dapat alam mo sagot dyan.
Do you think if someone does not know how to jump, by doing all of this, they will jump higher than someone who knows how to jump? It depends.
Siguro kasi
Pero di ba?
Yung form nga kasi parang bumabalik dun sa form.
Oh, it depends syempre how much force or whatever. Hindi natin talaga madidikit. Pero tama din yung sabi niya na yung form is also a factor. Kasi there are also studies showing that your arm swing helps with your form. And bakit? Because it creates smaller angles sa hips and sa knees and then sa ankles mo. And in a way, based on the studies, it shows na the more compressed yung angles na yan, the higher your jump. The swing of your arms would also translate to a more downward torso. That would increase yung jump. Okay? So, yung form na yan is also important. Kaya, tsaka na natin pag-usapan yung details on the form. Okay? So, madami nagte-text, pero mamaya na yan. Pero, tsaka na natin pag-usapan yung details, siguro in next few episodes yan, yung details ng form. Pero we also know that form will play a big role with increasing your vertical jump. Yung arms, you have to know. Next question yan, paano na sa sport natin? Diba? Can you give a sport where you will do this?
Volleyball.
Naruto style.
Ay, gagana, hindi ka magsiswing?
Hindi, magsiswing ka.
Volleyball yan.
Volleyball, diba? You could do that. However, sa basketball, could you do that?
Kung wala kang hawak
walang
ng bola, kunwari aliw, pag naghihintay ka, paano kung nahawak mo yung bola?
Pag may hawak ka ng bola, the problem...
Ipit mo sa baba.
Ang taas naman yun, no? Ganon. Anyway, di ba? You have to translate that to your sport. Kasi syempre, every sport will have different requirements, di ba? Ng pagtalon. We're talking about vertical jump. Tapos may hindrances din kasi yan. For example, yun nga sa basketball, when you have the ball, hindi pwede mag-move back pa kasi it will get stuck here. Kaya nga, the form as to how you would dunk the ball while you have the ball and dribbling, di ba? I-adjust mo din yan. Kaya nga, you have, again, if you need other episode, if you want to know more about this form, etc., and the other sciencey stuff regarding strength, plyo, and vertical jump, comment down below and we will create a single episode for each part.
Gagawin namin series.
Gawin nating series to. Okay, so ganun. You have to know how to adjust the form to achieve whatever is or will affect the vertical jump height. Diba? Any other factors? Sige na, sagot na natin strength, plyometric, kung nakakapag-land na tayo, and we've nailed down the form. Are there other factors that would affect? Parang siguro pwede natin sabihin, paano yun? Nakapag-training na ako lahat-lahat. Bakit mas mataas pa rin tumaas sa akin si LeBron James? Ay, tumalon sa akin si LeBron James.
Pwede genetics na. Genetically gifted kasi sila tumalon.
Again, we've talked about it in our previous episode. The genetics could play a big role when it comes to this one.
Nalagay ko yung link sa taas.
Kasi, syempre, number one obvious reason would be height. Syempre, if you're taller, you would reach a higher parang height when it comes to yung inaabot mo pag nagja-jump. Nagja-jump, di ba? Another reason could be muscle fiber ratio. Diba? Na-discuss na to last time. In jumping, napag-usapan na natin strength and plyometric na you have to exert the force, a great amount of force in a quick enough time. Diba? Kaya nga, you need Guys, quiz. Anong type ng muscle fibers?
Type 1, type 2, A, and
Hindi,
2B.
anong type for jumping?
Yung type 2.
Yan, very good. So type 2, which is yung fast twitch. Kasi sila yung may malakas na force output. Oo, napapagod sila agad pero mataas ang force output nila at force output ang kailangan mo para tumaas si vertical jump. Diba? Kaya nga, madaming factors affecting yan. There is also another thing. Naalala ko, tandang-tanda ako, shoutout kay Sir Wisdom Valleser. Okay? Sinabi nga niya na, and I've also read this one na, saan mo ina-apply yung resistance could also contribute to your jump height. Ibig sabihin, the direction at which the resistance is will affect yung performance mo dun yung performance dun sa ini-improve mo. So for example, jumping, vertical. Kaya kung vertical din ang loading, dun tataas ang jump. Sprinting, horizontal. Kung horizontal din ang loading,
sa pagtakbo mo,
diba?
Pag ganun.
Pero remember, this is in pertaining to your muscles. Kaya nga, diba, minsan may mga naririnig din tayo na parang if you want to increase your vertical jump, you need to jump. Well, again, it all boils down to skill mastery, yung form, diba? It boils down to your, syempre, tumataas yung strength mo when you keep on jumping. However, again, natutunan natin you could train mas efficient dyan by just training for strength. And another thing is, yung nga sinabi nila, by jumping kasi, you're applying the force on the actual movement din. So may ganun din factor yan. Kaya nga, di ba, we could say that squats could help, di ba? So yung mga ganyang stuff. Meron pa ba tayong nakalimutan? Parang parang discuss naman na. Pero siguro last note, diba? Last note. Now we know strength, plyo, all contribute to your strength and power, all contribute to your vertical jump height. Relative strength as well. Your genetics, your landing, diba? Your form, diba? Ang tanong ngayon yan is, hindi ang tanong, pero there is one requirement din. This is according to a certain study, diba, by Bobbert et al. Sinasabi, when increasing your muscular strength, there should be, to achieve the full benefit, to take full benefit of muscular strength for vertical jump, control needs to be adapted. Diba? Ikaw in your control needs to be adapted. Ano sa tingin mo ibig sabihin nun? Pag sinabing control needs to be adapted. Pero kasi, when we say control needs to be adapted, hindi pwedeng parang wild action lang yan. Kaya nga, when you have that strength already, that's the time you have to control it. Parang ganun yung sinasabi. The application of the strength should be in a controlled manner. Kaya nga, that's with power, you control your strength and then increase yung speed of your strength, blah, blah, blah. And it also boils down to the form where you control your strength. Diba? Kaya nga, everything ties up neatly together. Diba? Are there more detailed stuff about this one? Yes. Kaya nga, if you like this episode, comment down below so we could have a detailed topic for strength only, for plyometric and power and jump training, and maybe we could also have another episode for form ng jumping, diba? Kasi lahat yan, it would play a big role in terms of increasing your vertical jump. Even with, syempre kasama yung genetics. Syempre, I'm not saying na genetics will limit you kasi there are other factors you could play with. Pero, if everything's perfect, then talagang makakatalon ka. Diba? So, talon-talon pag may time. Maging palaka. Diba? Pero ako, dati talagang nag-focus ako dyan. And masaya naman. For me, syempre, it depends on the person, depends on your goal. Diba? So, it's up to you guys. Remember, diba? Etong topic na to, lahat na natutunan, you could use it on your own. Main takeaway.
Tumalon ka.
Hindi, ikaw, ano mo dun sa lesson? Feeling classroom no? Hindi, pero anong takeaway dito?
Na parang sa jumping kasi nga, hindi lang basta tatalon ka ng tatalon, di ba? Parang ang daming keys at play.
Yes,
Parang ganun.
totoo. Na parang there are factors na you have to consider.
Oo.
And yun nga, well, pwede ka naman tumalon ng tumalon kung gusto mo. Pero, syempre, it's efficient if you
Kaya
try
nga
to
eh.
improve your
Oo.
strength, your power, your form, di ba? And hindi lang, I'm not just saying na ganun lang yun. Kasi, again, if you watch our previous episodes, makikita nyo na there's what we call periodization, di ba? There are phases for strength training, di ba? There's your deloads, madaming topics behind that one, di ba? Even when you're trying to increase the power output, there are other concepts at play, di ba? Even the form, the angle, di ba? Di ba nung yung may study task kami na we reviewed
sa
this one.
biomechanics.
Oh, and it's interesting na there are angles that were prescribed to be somewhat, if you reach that certain angle or close to that angle, it would be the most optimal. Para may mga ganun yan. So, again, paano yan na-achieve yung angles na yan? It would depend on how you analyze your movement. Sports science. Boom! Mabuhay yung CHK. May ganun. Courtesy of Coach Jolo. Diba? Anyway, sobrang gulo namin. Laspag na si anyway. So that's the end of our episode.
If you like our videos, hit like and subscribe. And if you have questions, follow us or message us sa Facebook page, Barbell Geek Podcast, or comment down below.
Yes. Okay. So remember, your strength, your power formula, force over time, work over time, increase your time, and then your form. Okay? Remember your landing, blah, blah, blah. Ang dami ko na natin sinabi tungkol dyan. So anyway, stay safe, stay strong, stay motivated. Barbell Geek not yet signing out because we have an announcement.
May announcement tayo? Ikaw na mag-announce.
Okay, so ito na yung sinasabi namin na announcement. Ayun na, yun na yun. Hindi. Ang announcement namin, what?
Na once we reach 250 subs, we'll be giving away
It's a black pouch. Yun lang bigay namin. Then,
resistance
okay.
bands. We will be giving away 2 resistance bands.
Okay, so hindi dalawa lang yung bands, guys, ha?
5 yan.
5 siya. So this one, so we'll be giving away this one, dalawa nito. Okay, so
ipopost namin yung mechanics sa description box down below.
Kaya nga, guys, help us out. Help us reach 250 subs. 250 lang, and then we'll be giving away. So I hope
whoever na siya, namimigay na siya.
Hindi, whoever receives this one, I hope this would help with your fitness journey, even during this pandemic, diba, working out at home. Okay, so anyway, again, laspag na si anyway. So that's the end of our episode and our announcement. Just stay tuned sa baba, or just read sa baba the mechanics on how you could join.
Yes.
Diba? Everyone will, we will allow everyone to join naman as long as you follow the mechanics. Okay, so again, stay safe, stay strong, stay motivated. Barbell Geek signing out. Bye!